Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, The Holdovers. Paul Giamatti, right? And that's all that I know that's in this right now. But finishing up Billions right now. I haven't finished it yet. It's close. Episode 10, 11, or 12 I'm in there. But, you know, that's where he's from. He's from a lot of other things as well, but he's in there. This is an 8.0 on IMDb. 33,833 people rated it so far. Just rated in the top 5 movies of 2023 by our man Dominic, right? And so it's about a cranky history teacher who's stuck at a remote prep school over Christmas break with a troubled student has nowhere else to go. That's all it says. So, I don't know, pretty decent ratings. It's kind of like a holiday movie, so we'll see. It's 2 hours and 13 minutes long, so stick around, I'll let you know. Hey everybody, we're at the credit of The Holdovers, and you know, I have to say, I didn't really know what I was getting into by watching this film, and I'm surprised. It was a little different than what I thought, and not so much what IMDb leads you to believe, but I guess maybe the cover, you know, like the art that they show. Basically, it's a picture, I know, of him, and I think of kids and a broken Christmas ornament. Right? That's what I remember. Maybe there's not kids, but that's essentially it. So what I thought the movie was about, and to clear up any misconceptions that might be out there, was, you know, he is a professor, don't know where, but now I know he's at a prep school for, you know, high school boys. And, you know, they have to stay over, and some kids have to stay there, so they're the holdovers over Christmas break, and he has to supervise them, right? And essentially that is what the plot of the movie is about. Where it differs for me is I thought it was kind of like going to be, you know, these kids who are uprising against, you know, him as a professor, as their supervisor, creating, you know, a mess there on campus for him. Kind of like a Home Alone type thing, if you will. And that's what I thought it was about, you know, broken Christmas ornament. That couldn't be farther from the truth. It's really turns into a little bit different. There are people who are over. I also didn't know what time period this took place in. It took me a while to figure it out. I was thinking, you know, in the beginning, which I liked, something that stood out for me was the 70s folk music that I felt that they were playing, like the soundtrack to it all. And so, not knowing, until you start seeing the cars. And I see the way they dress, but it was so confined to the prep school. You don't know if that's just the way people dress there, you know, what's everybody else. But then it starts to get to you, so it's early 70s, 1970, 71 is when this movie essentially takes place. So maybe that'll help you out, and that aligns. But I thought I liked the music. I thought it went well, even before I knew this was taking place in the 70s. It kind of makes you feel nostalgic. I thought it did, and connects you really quick. So I like that. I think I just went right down a rabbit hole. But anyway, with that being said, there are students, plural, who are held over. But at some point, they are no longer holdover, and it's only one student, and that's the one they reference in IMDb, the one troubled student. And then it's more about family or lack thereof, you know, lack of a father figure, or lack of, you know, a younger family to go back to, or anything like that, and creating a connection. So it turns into more, you know, which was completely different than, you think you're going into seeing this tomfoolery or this Home Alone type movie, and you're getting more of an emotional, family-driven type movie, you know. But with all that said, being as surprised as I was when I went into this, I wasn't on my phone. It's a longer movie, over 2 hours long. I forget what I said, maybe 2:15, something like that. It is dry. It's on the drier side, like a nice red wine, But it held my interest. It truly did. I wasn't looking at anything else. I was engaged in it. So, you know, I think that says something, because movies like that, sometimes you really, you know, want to check something else out. And that just wasn't the case for me. So, big kudos there on that. The other thing that I really liked about this film, so I grew up Roman Catholic, and my upbringing around the Christmas time was hearing those choir songs that they were singing. You know, I know the Catholic base, but going to church on New Year's Eve or Christmas Day or whenever anybody went, they sung those songs. You know, and I remember that. I don't do that anymore. I mean, not that I don't go, but I don't go to the same churches that I did. Whatever, celebrate slightly differently, and I'm sure a lot of you. But it brought me back to way back then and the traditions that I went to, and it made a connection for me. 2 hours and 13 minutes anyway. So yeah, I like that aspect of it. I thought it was really cool. One other thing that now, you know, it changes, because I'll say this, not a spoiler alert, but once you see Paul Giamatti, I was like, he has a lazy eye, right? He has a lazy eye, and I was like, I never knew that about him, and I was like, is that really him, or is that his character, right? It does get referenced in the film, so it's absolutely his character, but I want to see, I guess they did something that I'm going to watch Billions after this, so we're going to find out, like, if he really has one, or if they did something to make that happen. I thought that was pretty neat, pretty wild. I picked up on it early in the film, but like I said, it does become a reference later on. Last piece is the only thing I would also say, the only thing, since I've just said just really not much, is, you know, it is that emotional type of movie, you know, character driven, where you get sucked in to either liking people or not liking people. And, you know, while, you know, you'll see what it's about, there is opportunity for maybe sadness, you know, could, you know, strike people. So when you think about holiday movies and stuff like that, and I do think this is kind of a Christmassy movie, although it's more of a around Christmas time movie than, you know, really about Christmas. You know, it was over Christmas break. So maybe not a Christmas movie, but a holiday movie, a movie that happened, you know, the whole argument over is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not. Die Hard is a movie that happened during Christmas. Just like Home Alone. Home Alone is not a movie about Christmas. It's a movie that happens around Christmas. And people call that a Christmas movie, but not Die Hard. This is a movie that happens around Christmas time, but is not about Christmas. Whatever you want to define it as. But if you're watching it, it's not all joy. You know, a lot of Christmas movies you want to have fun with and lift your spirits. Not saying that it doesn't, but I'm just saying there are opportunities where it might not. So, be forewarned. So, you know, I appreciate it. Dominic bringing it to my attention. I did have it on my list, didn't have a chance to watch it, but after speaking with him, I decided to pop it in like I'm really putting a DVD in or something like that, and watch it. So, happy I did. Definitely worth the watch. Good acting in it. And like I said, although it's long, you don't lose your interest. Just like this interview, right? Stuck with me to the end. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.